Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dumpster to Dynasty, where we talk about anything game related. I am today's host, Moon, joined by my co host, Crosskirk.
Hey there.
So let's get into some small talk. Crosskirk, what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing I just got back to War Thunder. Been playing a bit Wuthering Waves to get to his new story part, but specifically in War Thunder recently, like before this podcast even started, I was playing War Thunder to get to the British tree, at least to get to the Chincharian Mark One. But other than that, what games have you been playing recently?
So it's funny that you say that. I've been playing a lot of this, like, Dragon Ball Genshin Squadron, but besides that, like, story games, I've been playing Hades, and I love it so much right now. And it's just one thing I've been enjoying a lot lately. Uh, and it's just, I mean, for anyone listening, I just want you to know if you're into roguelike games, I say pick up Hades. It's so good. It's such a good game, and it's such visual, like everything visually is so nice.
I bet that it's
Um,
really nice there.
yeah, it really is. So I want to get into today's topic actually, and it's our rise to downfall. And for the game I selected for today is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So you know me, I'm pretty much like a huge fan of Dragon Ball, but this game had such a huge rise to fall, and I just want to talk to you about it because I've loved this franchise, and I was really excited for when this game came out, and just to see it didn't last long at all for it to go down in the dumps really fast.
I
And
mean,
oh
that's
yeah, continue.
I was about to say mine. You may as well explain how that happened. You first start off how this game became a beat. That's the first
So
thing.
so
That's what I'm curious about
uh
as well.
so there's a series called Budokai Tenkaichi, which were all fighting games, and this is a part of that series basically. And so when it was announced back in 2024, like more than 5.4 million copies worldwide were sold
Ooh,
in the first 24 hours of release.
that's a
And
lot.
yeah, that's a lot of copies to be have been sold. And it's like everyone was excited for this game. Everyone was hyped for the new Dragon Ball fighting game. And
Yeah, it kind of almost reminds me of the Persona X. I think it was Persona 5X or just Persona X, where people were excited for the game. However, the game ended up flopping because global was not treated fairly. It was more Chinese bias. I'm curious of how the Dragon Ball Sparking X, you said.
it's Sparking Zero.
Okay, Sparking Zero, sorry. Those two got mixed in my head. By Sparking Zero, how that rose and fell really fast. So you may as well continue with that.
So, from what we learned was when it came to talking about Dragon Balls, like it was its initial launch. It was like overhyped due to nostalgia and fans, and
Yeah, I
it
can see
was
that.
more of that. It was more of that rather than the actual gameplay. And when it came to like the single player content, there wasn't enough. Once you finished it, you're practically done. They came out with
Ooh,
this one mode where you can fight, like, I guess you could say, quote unquote bosses, but even then, those weren't as satisfying enough to itch the spot for these fans of this game. And the story modes were really disappointing as well to some people, with some of them just being really lackluster, what ifs, and stuff going over like old content that we already know as fans of this franchise. And There was also a really big controversy with its customization because when they announced it on uh, Twitter, well, known as X, they hyped it like saying like, oh, you're gonna have all this character customization. Then when players got to customization, it was very limited to the point where they were even comparing to the game that I was playing, Dragon Ball Genshin Squadron, on how that player customization is 10 times better than Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And another thing that was like another like huge issue was its online multiplayer. Like a lot of the multiplayer was died down because unlike a lot of the other like fighting games, this one was basically if you chose the strongest fighter, you're gonna feel that strength from that fighter. But if you chose the weakest fighter, they were gonna be weak. So
Ooh,
people kept choosing this one character called Goku. Everyone knows Goku, but there's a specific form called Ultra Instinct, and it's one of the current like strongest forms in Dragon Ball right now, as in media wise, because in the manga, obviously, there's it goes on farther, but gonna stray away from that. But that's known as his strongest form currently, and he's one of the strongest characters in the game. And people would only choose him and another character called Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which was also really strong in this game as well, to the point where players all they would see were those two characters in online PvP. When they would select their favorite characters, they felt as if there was no point of even running their favorite character if they were just going to be easily defeated by an overpowered character that they could not do anything about.
that actually kind of reminds me of some other stuff. I definitely know I've not played on the Modern Warfare 3 or 2, but I remember seeing some issues go, hey, there's a lot of different guns that are really cool. However, there's one specific gun, which if I'm correct was the M4A1 that you slapped into the game, or whatever name decided to slap onto the M4A1. Technically legal, you can put the name on there anyway. Um, that it was so overpowered that doesn't matter what your favorite gun is in the game, you have to select the M4A1 because it is the meta, and that stayed meta for a long time, and that kind of really sucked as well. Similarly to how Battlefield 2042 was, where hey, you got all these new cool guns that you have. Then we're going to introduce guns from Battlefield 3 into the game, along with other franchises prior to that prior to Battlefield 2042. However, they kind of suck compared to the new 2042 weapons, and that I kind of see that there as well with this one.
Yeah, so that yeah, I agree with that because like when it comes to games, you kind of just want to sit back, relax. Maybe like you just got home from a long day of work and you just want to play a game. And sure, like some of it, a lot of it you can blame on skill as well. But also some games also are all based on meta, which is annoying because unless you have that meta weapon or meta character, you can't really do anything about it. Like, uh, for example, in again another Call of Duty game, like for Warzone, I remember once they started adding Cold War and Vanguard, unless you owned those two games and had guns from those games, you couldn't really compete with the current meta because you all you had was, let's say, like Modern Warfare 2019, which was originally associated with Warzone. So a lot of like old players who used to enjoy play the game a lot, they kind of drifted away from it because they couldn't keep up with the meta.
Yeah, that is still really rough. Like, and this is the Sparking Zero is supposed to be an RPG style game, right?
So Sparking Zero is a fighting based game, and it's
Okay, fighting base. All right. I was thinking
yeah.
of the RPG version. My bad.
Oh yeah, no, I understand,
There's
but
like
it's
so
like
many Dragon Ball IP is kind of all converge into one slop of different Dragon Balls. Like, hey, they're all this, but they're all different, and that's kind of hard to
Yeah.
tell.
So yeah, I would like to actually get into that as well because there's like four, I believe. No. Well, yeah, I want to say four as in like free Dragon Ball games right now. No, three. Sorry. I am like trying to think. Yeah, it's three. So we have Dragon Ball Legends, Dragon Ball Dokkan, and Dragon Ball Genshin Squadron. All of those games are free as of current, but also two of them are gacha games. One being Dokkan and one being Legends.
Mm.
Both of them are. I'm not too sure about Dokkan because I don't play Dokkan, but from what I know is that recently in both games, power creep. So there's this thing called power creep. I should probably explain that to you first. I'm not sure if you know about it, but power creep in these type of games are like, there's this character that was really strong, but like over a short amount of period, that character that was really strong is all of a sudden now down in the dumps. They're bad now. Like they can't even compete with the current characters. And those two games is meta based. Unless you don't have the new shiny character they've released, you can't really do much about like PvP, and a lot of people have drifted away from these two games after Dragon Ball Genshin Squadron release because in that game there's not really much of a meta. It's more of like it's a MOBA based game, but also it's like a like you get to play certain characters and certain characters have their own abilities and you have to get used to those certain characters. And once you get used to those certain characters, you can obviously get better with them and perform better in matches, which is not a like whole gacha based system at all either. The only gacha based system in that game is cosmetics,
And
and I
honestly, that's a
find
lot
that
better.
really good.
Yeah, my bad, I
Yes,
talk over.
no, it's fine. But I was gonna say I love when gacha game. Well, okay, I wouldn't say love. That's a really high stake I'm putting up there.
Yeah,
But I
that's
mean, like,
no.
I like how I like how this game put their gacha system as a cosmetic thing, but also a lot of this stuff you can get for free too. Like you don't have to spend money to get all this cool cosmetic stuff. All you have to do is just play the game, and over time you'll unlock all that stuff.
Which is
So it's
cool.
not like, yeah, it's not something like based on like, oh, if, um, I don't have this cool cosmetic, I'm gonna spend a whole bunch of money to get it. No, like I play the game currently. I have not spent a single dime on cosmetic stuff, and like that hasn't changed performance wise. It's just satisfying once you do get these cosmetic stuff though. Like it's like, oh hey, look, I have this like cool little like introduction to my character at the start of every round. But yeah, it's like back to Sparking Zero. We drifted away so far from that for a second. But like yeah, with Sparking Zero, like a lot of its downfall mainly came from the game itself rather than the players, because a lot of like the stuff in the game wasn't as like I don't know how to say it, but like it wasn't as like what the company hyped it up to be.
It's not as what they promised to bring out. Yeah, I can see that because I know originally I waited for like for several years for this. When it be to release in Japan and die in Japan, being the Blue Protocol from Bandai Namco. It was hyped up to be the new anime MMO to be a successor to Soul Worker. However, around that time, Genshin kind of took off, and the Bandai Namco MMORPG they made, being again Blue Protocol, not Blue Protocol Star Residence, but the Blue Protocol was so imbalanced and so not good in terms of gameplay and for an MMORPG. That's why I usually tell some other people that hey, this game should probably stick or I should say, the big companies should stick to single player games because they nail those really well and not just the MMORPG stuff, which end up dying in Japan because they could not fulfill the promises they said they would make, only to give it to Amazon to help make the game, and that ended up dying with Amazon as well. I can definitely see that as well with how like the Sparking Zero was not lived up to the promise because the only thing they did was build hype and nothing else.
I will say this though. I'm not talking bad about this game at all. I still play it to this day. I'm just saying like from the whole community perspective, from its rise and downfall, that's kind of just what happened. Everything I'm explaining right now is like that's kind of what happened to like the whole game and what happened to it. But I think personally, it went from like a more competitive fighting game based thing to like more of a like a party game
It,
because I play it with some friends right now sometimes, and we enjoy like randomizing our characters, and we just have a blast playing it together. And I just feel like if some people who bought the game could do that as well, they could still find that love that they used to have for it when it initially released.
I would say the same thing to how the Blue Protocol Star Residence is that it's more of a party game than competitive. Should be competitive in how fast you can beat the boss or defeat enemies, but in itself is a party game. However, there's some issues with the Blue Protocol Star Resonance, which I'll be making a 100-hour review of that video soonish with a trademark. Besides that, yeah, I do like being a party in casual gameplay because you can have competitive, but that competitiveness should not be the main thing. If your main gameplay is just being fun, even for a MOBA, you should at least focus on fun, and you can have if the game is built around being competitive as well, you can add that in, which MOBA tends to be are competitive. I remember seeing so many streamers as soon as Battlefield 6 launched, they're begging for rank mode. They go, no, the game is not to have a rank. You are supposed to be playing as a team because the game is revolves around playing as a squad in a bigger hog of things. So I can see that, hey, Sparking Zero, sure you can have some competitiveness to it, but like you said, it kind of evolved to casual party game. That's really cool. I like that detail there.
Yeah, yeah, it's like I said before, I'm not talking bad about it. I personally, I still love the game, but there has a lot of people who have fell out of love with it. But I do want to move on to our next topic, and I do want to kind of talk about like maybe some underdog games, like games that you personally think like that people should see like more often. Like these games are really good, but like it doesn't get enough attention as it should be getting.
Uh,
Do you have any?
Not that what comes into my mind right now. Right now, I will come up in a few seconds, but you can talk about any game that you know that are underdogs.
So I will say when it comes to underdogs, I I I guess you could still call it an underdog. I'm not entirely sure because when I first played it, it's been released for a bit now, but it's called Silent Hill F. I'm pretty sure I've talked to you and a few of our buddies about it, but I was really looking forward to this game, and there's a lot of people in the Silent Hill community who weren't as hyped for this game as I initially thought they would be because I'm still very vague to knowledge of a lot of the Silent Hill stuff, but I will say, when I played Silent Hill F, it was a really nice experience. I streamed it for a little bit, and I streamed the whole game, and like I enjoyed every little bit of it. Like it was horror and combat and like all this other stuff driven into it that made it really like suspenseful and fun. I like the puzzles, and there is like a lot of stuff in this game that I personally enjoyed a lot. And I just feel like a lot of the community just looks down on it when in reality it's actually a really good game.
Yeah, I guess the reason why community does not. This is my theory. I do not know much about Silent Hill. Is because it's maybe. I think I would say they believe it's more of a. I was not side content, but I want to say like more of a side aspect of the game, or like doesn't take. I don't know what I'm saying, but since I have not played Silent Hill at all, or do not know much about Silent Hill, I don't have no ground to stand on. But maybe because they don't see it as something on par to how Silent Hill is and was supposed to be. But again, that's my theory on a person who has nothing on Silent Hill games and has no idea how it plays out.
Yeah, that's 100% fair. I will say, uh, again, these are personal opinions, so we're not entirely sure. Some for some of these, we kind of did our research. For some of these, we're kind of just going based on personal experience. So I will just say that now.
Yeah.
But for do you have any like underdog games that you think you'd like to bring up?
I would say I wouldn't say much of an underdog, but one game I remember that I did do the beta test. I'm waiting for a release. I should probably check it right now. Is when I was younger, I played Robocraft. That game was fun. Another game I played with that with Robocraft was Gear Up, and I'll talk about that next time. But Robocraft was really fun, and the fact that they're getting Robocraft 2 out is pretty cool in itself. To be on Steam, and it's not on Steam. Interesting. Huh.
Oh, that's that's
Oh, wait a minute. It's not on Steam
unfortunate. So
anymore?
you can't find the demo?
Because the Robocraft is a free to play game, and Robocraft 2 was supposed to be also a free to play game. But it's not on my Steam listing anymore. What the heck? Hold on, let me do a quick look up. Robocraft Steam community, because Robocraft is basically build your own vehicle with blocks and such, and fight the enemy in like different modes and such. I can see also why it's not as popular anymore, but the fact that there was a Robocraft 2, which again I did beta test as well, was actually pretty fun. However, it being delisted from Steam is kind of interesting. I might have to look back at to what happened there.
Oh, and I will say, I do want to strive into our final topic, and it's just something about the current holiday stuff, Black Friday sales. I just want to talk about like what do you think about these sales? How are have you bought in anything yet from these current sales that are going on like Steam and or any other websites that you're currently like playing games on or consoles?
I have not bought a thing from this Black Friday sale.
That is 100% fair. Me personally, I have bought recently bought Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I'm loving it right now. I am 100% enjoying it. I also bought Red Dead Redemption 2, which is also only 15 bucks. I will say to everyone who is listening, go buy these games right now while they're on sale because oh my god, they have so much good games on sale right now. Some of them though, I do not like the pricing for it because they have these games are like, hey, we took only 10% off and it's only like it's not that much. I hate it. But at the same time, I love I love the current games that are on sale. I'm thinking of like picking up some of the Dark Souls games as well because those that are on sale as well, this Black Friday like week sale thing that they're having on Steam, I'm loving it right now.
Yeah. Also, apparently, Where Winds Meet is free to play, and those who are interested in that open world action RPG, or I think this is online co-op multiplayer, so I do not know if this is an MMO or just a regular open world action RPG. Besides that, that's apparently free to play. Also,
Actually, now
Battlefield
that you
6
talk,
is
oh,
$60 right now as well. So the fact that that's $60 compared to Black Ops 7, which is full price, in Activision is such a slop.
I will say, where wins me. I'm actually right now as we speak. I downloaded it and I'm just waiting for it to download because me and my friend we're gonna just start playing and seeing what's the hype about. Because I've only heard such vague news about this game. Some people saying that like it's a really good uh I'm pretty sure MMO game. And I'm just like, I mean, hey, it sounds good. Everyone's saying it sounds pretty good. I am interested, so I say like if I don't know if you're gonna get it, but I'm currently picking it up right now. I will say 99 gigabytes, so I look forward to all that space that's gonna go away on your SSD.
What also sucks that because of the AR market, along with tariffs, prices after the black cells are going to increase by a lot. Already, we have some DDR5 RAM costing over $1,000 right now, which really sucks.
Yeah, and I also feel as I don't know if anyone else. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who have a PC when they buy stuff, I know a lot of people have been. I know a lot of you guys use CD keys. Come on, don't lie, don't lie. We know everyone use CD keys when they can to find the current deals that they can get on there because some of the deals are sometimes even better than Steam as well. And I will say, I have recently purchased an old childhood game that I'm going to share with my younger sister. It's called Disney Infinity 3.0. It's a
I
game I used
remember
to
Disney
play.
Infinity.
Yeah, it's a game I used to play when I was younger, and I saw it on sale for only $3. I was like, that's a steal. I immediately bought it, and when probably tomorrow, honestly. This will be released in the future, but we're filming this the day before Thanksgiving. So on Thanksgiving Day, I'm going to show my sister, and me and her are going to be playing some Disney Infinity 3.0. And in the next episode, I'll let you guys know how that goes.
Yep. And aside from that, since we got through that a lot faster than I expected, we may as well talk about like other smaller games as well. Some games that we may haven't played in a while as well. But however,
Yeah,
if one future topics I definitely know I'll be talking about is Soul Worker. And if you those, as I mentioned earlier in this podcast about a spiritual successor to Soul Worker being Blue Protocol before Bandai Namco kind of screwed that up, is again the
yeah.
Soul Worker is one of those original anime MMORPGs that was super popular on Steam, and now it's almost a wasteland. There, people still play it here and there. I still play it here and there, but it's one of those games that I do love because I've been playing with from my childhood, and the fact that it's going down is kind of tragic. But again, that will be a topic in the future.
Yeah, I will say, uh, I did say final topic, but to be honest, Um, it's more of like a really extended final topic because we're new to this, guys. We're new to this, so
Yeah,
give us some slack. Especially I was probably like the worst uh pick to choose for like the first host for today, but I mean I did this to myself, so whatever. But I will say what were you saying again? About what we should be talking about? Games that we haven't played in a long time. I
yep.
will say there actually has been a few that I haven't played in so long, and that being Lethal Company. I loved playing that when it first released, and I played it with a few of our friends as well. But now that I've seen it, I just haven't touched it. Same with Repo, same with Peak.
Yeah, because
Again,
those
these
are like
games, I'm not.
I was a
Oh, sorry, sorry.
my as I say, it kind of makes sense why a lot of people don't play these games anymore. And you're not like You're not the exception. A lot of these games that you play tend to be considered as a friend game slop or friend slop or
Yeah,
co-op slop. I think it
that's
was
very
called, but
true.
they're not meant to be last long, and they're meant to be really fun beginning and just die down later down the line. So there's nothing wrong with it. Co-op slop games like Lethal Company, Repo, or Peak. The problem is they don't have a longer standing lifeline to them, even with all the updates they can get. They're there for a brief moment, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I will say also, uh, again, these games are not bad. I love these games so much, but also it's you know, nowadays it's either I can't find the time to play them, or I just don't have anybody to really play with, and that does kind of suck because these are really good games. And I will say these next few games I'm gonna mention, I'm pretty sure I've talked to you about, but I have not touched Phasmophobia in a long time, besides the last time we recently played.
Yep.
And I will say, I loved playing last time we played. Phasmophobia, I forgot how much I loved the game, and just how much of like how funny it could be, because a lot of our interactions last time with our that current ghosts in the new diner map. Oh my god, I love that map.
Oh
It's
no, yeah, it's
actually really cool.
hilarious. It's all fun and cool in itself. Phasmophobia is definitely a game that feels like it will stick around longer because not only the devs are trying to stick with what they're trying to do, at least make the game fun, but also improving the game a lot more. And also, there's one main streamer that actually still streams Phasmophobia on a daily, I don't want to say daily basis, but weekly basis. And the fact that they also introduced system to at least, if you want to keep playing, you can keep playing, even though it's just cosmetic stuff. Being the what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say they always say they have a progression system. They improved the progression system, but they definitely introduced a system where you can reset back to level one and keep playing for new ID cards and such, which in it's a challenge, but also kind of fun to experience how it is to be a level one character again.
Yeah, I was also gonna mention as well this next game. It's called, I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but I know it has a really popular community. Stardew Valley. I enjoyed playing that for a little while. Like I had a lot of hours, but I don't know. I just haven't touched it in a while. It's probably because I've been getting hooked on like Hades and this Dragon Ball game, but like it's it's actually like a really calming game, I will say. It's a really calming, enjoyable game with enjoyable characters and stuff like that. And I will say, like, I do have to get back into it because I'm not that far as a lot of people I know who's play the game to this day.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I do got to get back into that. And also, don't starve together. I played that with a friend that we know, and I played it for a good amount of time until I just got too busy and everyone's hype and love for that game died down for a bit. I guess you could say equivalent to our Minecraft phase. Don't we had a don't starve together phase and it died
And
pretty
that
fast.
do happen. This game, while they're last longing, can also have like go through a phase like, hey, let's play this again for you guys play for a while, but it kind of ends up dying down as well. Which that's how like a
Yeah,
lot of these games to stay alive for a long time because multiple people have their different phase for different times and for different length. That's why Minecraft is still pretty popular. Terraria is still rocking pretty well on their, I guess, final update, as they keep saying every single time. But still,
I would like to say though, I do have a question.
yeah.
Have you recently been like getting into old games that you used to play? Because, some of us were like either not knowledgeable or just we we didn't really understand the game when it first released, and then as we got older, we kind of obviously got rid of like that old console, or now have like our own new accounts, or stuff are digital now. So you either like have a digital console now, so you can't really download. I mean, just insert the disc like you used to. But yeah, have you like gotten into any old games that you used to play?
I definitely know that one of the old games I played, gotten into is kind of like Girls Frontline, because it's been a minute since I've played that, but I already have my own account still. But games that I like from old console, um, I wouldn't say I was able to play any of them, because one of the old games I definitely want to try out was from the Xbox 360. I do not remember the name, but being able to play that again would be pretty fun. But
Yeah,
other than that,
I
I
was.
do not know any other games I'm playing right now that are old that I'm getting back into. Because most of the old games like War Thunder, Girls Frontline, Soul Worker, which I need to get back into, I've been playing for a hot minute.
Yeah, recently some games that I've been getting back into that I used to play. Obviously, I mentioned one earlier, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and loving it right now, playing it for the zombies. Um, I've also picked up Plants vs. Zombies Garden
Ooh,
Warfare 2. I've been playing that with some buddies as well, and I've been loving it.
speaking
And
of that, I probably should pick
lastly,
that up because I actually do like
oh,
that game.
oh yeah, you should. You should. Yeah, we could definitely play it together. I love the game. And I want to say lastly for my uh final game, I it has to be Epic Mickey, The Power of Two. Yes, a lot of these are like well, two of these are kind of kiddie games. I mean, not two. One of these are like it's a kids game, but I mean like hey, come on. Uh I enjoyed it when I was younger,
That's
and
true.
I hold on.
Speaking of, I think I did sort of get back into Rocket League because I used to play that a lot when I was younger. Again, on my stepfather's account when Rocket League used to be on Steam, but now it's on Epic Launcher, which that's a bit of an oof. But since I gone back into that, man, I've been dunking on a lot of like lower level players, even though it's been a hot minute since I played that game.
I remember. Well, I will say when I picked up Call of Duty, again, playing Black Ops 3 keyboard and mouse is so much better playing on controller. I I originally was a console player, strictly console. That's like all I played on. And when it came to shooter games, I'm not gonna lie, I was not really the best at them. The only one that I got really good at was Modern Warfare 2019 and Cold War. But besides that, like really didn't get good at any other FPS shooters. But when I moved to uh PC, I just tried those games out. I Since I owned them on certain platforms, I was able to get either some for free, some of them unfortunately I did have to buy again. But
Makes
besides
sense.
that, like I've seen my performance in these games on here compared to console, and my performance is just like 10 times better.
Which is yeah, that's a lot. If your performance get a lot better, like there's like some critiques against between console and PC, but you can also now attach a keyboard and mouse to console, even phones, surprisingly enough, or like use a controller on a phone. Which man, technology has improved a lot since then.
I do want to mention one final few things before we end off here. I want to talk about Steam and their Steam machine. What do you think about it?
I'm quite interested in to see how they bring in Steam and the Steam machine because from what I heard, yeah, there's some games that does not like running on Linux because of the anti-cheat. But in that, I feel like if they price it right, it could shake up the market a lot and also drown Xbox, which rightfully deserved because Microsoft is scummy in itself. Other than that, like it'll be nice to see how the Steam machine works along with the VR version of the Steam, which I'm kind of excited for. I might end up getting that like in the future as well because hey, I want to actually own a VR headset, and that is pretty cool.
I do agree. I'm really looking forward to the Steam machine because it could shake up gaming a lot in the future, and I feel like it's gonna be like a main console for a lot of people because it's basically just a PC in itself that you could just play on a TV.
Yep,
And for VR, I do kind of want to get one. I've only ever used. You'd be surprised to hear this. For as long as VR has been out, I've only gotten the opportunity to use it like 3 times.
that's fair, like similar to mine, and I only got a chance to use it like 3 or 4 times. My first VR experience was from the PSVR because I used to go to this one person's house a lot of times when I was younger, and they have like a PlayStation and they have PlayStation VR. That's how I got into Thumper as well, and I tried out one of the racing games in VR. That was an experience as well. It's pretty cool. Sure, it may not be the full experience, but I do want to own a VR. The next time I used the VR was playing Beat Saber, and that was really fun. That's why I want to own VR as well, just to play Beat Saber, because man, that is a lot of moving you're doing.
Yeah, so VR, a lot of people are look down on VR players. Some of them mainly for VR chat for obvious reasons,
Yeah,
but I will say there are lots of opportunities for you to like burn off weight while doing something you love because you could even I'm pretty sure you know this, but you could even play Phasmophobia VR
yeah,
and yeah, like you could play a lot of these games that are like really hyperactive and like could get you active just by playing something such as like you mentioned Beat Saber. My one of my friends actually, he I wouldn't say he was overweight, but he did gain a bit of weight. And he said when he played uh Beat Saber, like it kept him active and thanks to that he was able to like you know, lose weight, burn off fat and stuff like that. So I will say like some VR games they do have that like impact where you could lose a lot of that weight that you probably gained.
indeed. And again, if you want to at least work out but have fun, the VR headset helps. That's why originally I want to get myself the Oculus Quest. I think it was called. Yeah, Oculus Quest. Because one, light, portable, and I can bring it anywhere. But the fact that with the not what the Steam VR is called, but you can not only just do VR games, but you can also look at 2D screen, and still you can still have plenty of fun doing it. That's why, like, if you go to the gym, you can still go to the gym, do an actual proper workout. But if you want to at least have fun and do a workout, you can do that. Like Steam, any VR, like Beat Saber. There's also some other active VR games. That's also why I like going out to play airsoft because not only I'm having fun out there for almost 8 hours a day, every time I play airsoft, I'm actually on the move a lot and improving my endurance. Because I remember this week that I started getting back into airsoft, I was drained. My legs was hurting by the end of the day. And then the week after I got back into airsoft, I was feeling infinitely better after the end of the day of that, and kind of shows that hey, you can still have fun like playing things you like to do, especially with VR, and it will help improve your cardio as well for that. Because VR, the doubt you can do much strength based on that, but the main thing we should focus on is cardio, and VR definitely helps that.
Yeah, I will say uh again, don't pin the blame on us if you pick up VR and you don't lose weight, but we're just saying like it's a slow process. If
It is.
you can lose weight well with VR, but it's a slow process. And also it depends on how like you kind of treat yourself as well cuz it's not just like oh, I picked up VR, now I'm going to go buy a whole like family meal for myself to reward myself for burning all this weight. Obviously, there's some steps that you have to take to it if you want to lose all that weight. But again, it's a
Yeah.
fun way, but if a serious way would be just hitting the gym or even just working out at home. Well, yeah. So that's kind of all I have for today. Thank you everyone for listening. Follow Crosskirk at Crosskirk on YouTube. Follow me, Senor underscore Moon on Twitch. I'm not uploading on YouTube, but very soon I will. So I'll start plugging myself on YouTube as well. So everyone have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever.
And
See
before
you
we
on the next
end,
episode
before
where Crosskirk will be hosting that one.
yes, and before we end, and if you guys want to at least see more how this podcast grows, please follow and however you want. Right now we're doing YouTube, and we'll be figuring out to bring it over to Spotify and other podcasting applications, softwares, whatever it is. But if you're interested in see how much this grows, please subscribe, leave a like that shows your interest. I usually never endorse like subscribing to liking, but this is one way to show us, hey, you think this is interesting enough where you want to actually listen to this, and some people just rambling on things that we like. Because hey, we're gamers, we like gaming, we also like a lot of things and want to learn more about things as well. So go ahead and do that.
Markiplier, Bob, and Wade, we're coming for you. We're coming for you guys. We're gonna beat you, Distractable. No, I'm kidding, but I love Distractable.
Yes, same.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to if like I'm looking forward to if we do get big at one point, and just for them to acknowledge us,
Yep, that would be
because
pretty cool.
those those guys are my motivation to wanting to start this with Crosskirk.
Yeah, and the whole reason why I wanted to start this as well was anime out of context, because those guys does a lot of dumb stuff and funny stuff while also talking about anime along with Distractable, because that's really fun, along with Unsubscribed Podcast. Those the main three podcasts I listen to a lot, and they want me to start doing podcasting. So yeah,
Oh yeah, before we sign off, I will say this. Um, oh, what was I gonna say? Damn it! I had. You know what? We're saving that for our next episode. All right. Bye, everyone. Podcast out. We're done.
yep.